Drive Car of the Year 2021 moves on to the light SUV category, and this is a really interesting story, this one. An established favourite in the form of the Hyundai Venue, a newcomer in the form of the Volkswagen T-Cross, and of course the newest entrant into the segment, the Ford Puma. Have a look at the style of that. That looks pretty good in a segment that can be accused sometimes of being a little bit bland. This is another segment where value for money is hugely important, but so is standard equipment and of course what they feel like to drive. The judges are going to spend a bit of time on that now. Let's get into it. The Volkswagen T-Cross starts from $27,990 and buyers can choose either a 1 litre engine making 85 kilowatts or a 1.5 litre which makes 110 kilowatts. Wireless phone charging, a rear view camera, city AEB with pedestrian and cyclist monitoring are all standard across the range. The T-Cross also gets lane departure assist, a driver fatigue monitor and parking sensors. Stepping up through the range brings bigger alloy wheels, gloss black trim and interior changes. The Hyundai Venue starts from $21,990 and gets a 1.6 litre engine that generates 90 kilowatts across the range. There's a choice of 6-speed manual or automatic transmissions. Venue gets a specific Australian suspension tune along with 6 airbags and camera type AEB across the range. Ford Puma starts from $29,990 before on-road costs and all variants are powered by a 92 kilowatt 1 litre triple. The Puma is front-wheel drive and uses a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. There's a broad array of standard safety kit including lane departure warning, lane keep assist and traffic sign recognition. Top spec models get a more premium audio system, but all models feature the 8-inch infotainment screen. The top 2 grades get a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster along with sports tuned suspension. But not all finalists could make our coveted top 3 for 2021.
The Nissan Juke, on first glance, it's quite polarising, a bit more of a modern take on the last version. I think it looks pretty sharp and edgy. Now, hats off to Nissan because I think this is a step in the right direction, not quite there though. A few downers, their transmission and the value equation. However, it is a pretty cool car, they've done some great things and that is why it is a finalist in this category.
The Ford Puma was originally a coupe and this new SUV channels some of its sporty origins. In particular in this ST line trim we get these lovely red stitched highlights as well as this checkered fabric looking trim. Overall its dimensions are quite generous considering this is a small SUV. I feel like I've got plenty of space around me in the front and there's adequate room in the second row as well. The Volkswagen T-Cross's party trick is most certainly its cabin dimensions. Its second row is the best in its class and its boot is the largest too when you move the second row all the way forward and enable the largest cargo area. However, others in this segment offer better value for money and if you're looking at a base model T-Cross with no options, others are better choices. The Hyundai Venue does offer some personality with its cabin, especially as you move up the trim levels. In this particular version we've got this nice denim trim with this blue vinyl which is contrasted by a tan lower section on the dash. Certainly looks quite cool. However, there are a couple of cheap touch points. This manual handbrake is very plastic feeling and a bit basic, as is the oval top half of the dash and infotainment system. However, the biggest problem with this car is that second row. It is just way too cramped back there.
Our dynamic testing in this segment focuses mainly on how these light SUVs respond to steering and braking inputs in an urban environment. Buyers know that SUVs in this segment are city dwellers, where sharp steering, ride quality and user friendliness are key considerations for the judges. Overall balance is important and we're looking for a ride that is more focused on comfort than sporting ability. Fuel consumption is of course tested on longer road loops. The Venue rides comfortably around town and handles just about any road surface you can point it toward. It doesn't feel as premium behind the wheel as either Puma or T-Cross, and part of that could be the fact that it feels like you need to work the engine hard to get the best out of it. Still, at city speeds, the Venue is a solid performer. We're testing the Venue on a smooth racetrack of course, but out on the open road, it takes a lot to unsettle the chassis. The steering feels firm enough at high speed, but light at low speed, meaning it's a cinch to manoeuvre around town. The T-Cross is one of the sharpest performers on the dynamic loop, thanks in no small part to the quality of the chassis underneath. The engine and DSG come to life at speed, and the gearbox is better at low speed work than previous iterations. The added suspension travel over the polo on which it's based means you get a comfortable and capable ride on any surface. You will get some body roll through tight corners, but buyers in this segment aren't expecting a hot hatch. The steering is nicely balanced between lightness around town and a reassuring firmness at speed on the highway. The Puma feels light on its feet. The 3-cylinder has a useful torque band and is responsive to throttle inputs. It's mated neatly to the 7-speed dual clutch, and while the combination isn't perfect, it's pretty close too. Ford has struck a competent chord between comfort and handling in terms of ride. Direct steering, balance, and a willingness to soak up bumps effortlessly makes for an exceptional runaround. So the light SUV segment is indeed a really interesting one, and it provides a compelling case for buyers. You can argue the case for the Hyundai Venue, you can argue the case for the Volkswagen T-Cross. It's an excellent platform as well, but ultimately we had to pick one, and our winner for this category for Drive Car of the Year 2021 is the Ford Puma. As we said, the styling is fantastic, but this is a particularly efficient and compelling all-rounder. It goes together really well, it's great to drive, the packaging's great, it's got plenty of room in it, it's really good value for money as well. So our light SUV pick for 2021 is the Ford Puma. Ford's Puma is a breath of fresh air in what was becoming a quite mundane segment stylistically. As a result of its styling flair, it has street presence the others can't match. Despite not being the cheapest in the light SUV category, it is well appointed with a cabin that feels like it belongs to a more expensive car. Puma is a quantum leap forward from the EcoSport it replaces, and is in our opinion even better than its bigger sibling, the Escape. Puma is also the most engaging and enjoyable light SUV to drive, with much of that appeal relating to the perky, characterful 3-cylinder engine. The triple is efficient too, both on paper and in the real world. The Puma's all-round package makes it hard to beat, and it's a worthy winner for the title of Best Light SUV in 2021.